Hello again, and welcome to Carrying On, a deep dive into my vinyl record collection here in sunny Thailand. This week, Van Morrison's 1971 album, Tupelo Honey. Van Morrison really needs no introduction to music fans around the world. He is one of the great singer-songwriters of the last 60 years, spanning the heyday of the Beatles in the mid-60s with the R&B band Them, all the way up to last year's beautiful record, new arrangements and duets. If you haven't listened to that one yet, please do. It's on Spotify. Tupelo Honey, however, is not on that particular streaming service due to some kind of licensing issue. This is a shame, as I think it is a particularly strong record with some absolute career highlights for Van, which deserve more recognition. I first fell in love with this record about 15 years ago after it was remastered and re released on this excellent sounding CD right here. I couldn't believe how fresh and alive this record sounded right from the very first guitar riff on Wild Night, the exuberant opener to the album. A few years ago, I also found this unusual double vinyl album here of Tupelo Honey alongside the previous year's release, his band and street choir. Here they are, both of them together, which must be in the running for the worst album cover of Van's long career. If you look at this one here, his close-up face superimposed on a picture of him in some kind of hippie caftan. Um, This was a brief foray into the hippie world, which he later regretted, and he now doesn't have much that's positive to say about this rather hurried release. It does have some highlights, however, including his most successful ever single called Domino. But we are here today to talk about the album on the other side of this double, Tupelo Honey, released the following year in October 1971. As the cover shows, with Van's wife on the back of a horse as he strolls along through a picturesque wood, this is an album steeped in domestic bliss. A passionate treatise to the harmony of family life in the countryside with a wife and young children. I think I relate to this record even more these days, as I find myself in a similar situation here in rural Thailand with my wife and daughter. After the jazzy R&B thrills of that opening track, Wild Night, this album becomes as straightforwardly romantic and uncynical as Van has ever been in his career, really, continuing with the incredibly catchy Straight to Your Heart like a cannonball. He seems to be singing about the healing power of nature, waiting for the sun to rise, waiting maybe for some kind of creative inspiration from the beauty that surrounds him. Ironically, although he was indeed happily married at this time, he went through the upheaval of moving from Woodstock, New York, to San Francisco during the making of this particular record. He resettled in another seemingly bucolic setting among redwood trees on the outskirts of San Francisco, and he had to get together a new band to record the songs in the studio. The next song on the record, Old Old Woodstock, is therefore a simple song about the joys of his previous home in upstate New York. Country tinged, yet soulful and passionate lament for a time he could see had just passed. The next song, Starting a New Life, could be seen as a song about the move to California, too. It's only 2 minutes long, but it is a rather lovely, optimistic, sunny side up tune from Van. This leads into the last track on side A, the epic You're My Woman. He wrote this song in the studio towards the end of the recording process, and it bumped off Listen to the Lion, another legendary epic tune that would actually end up on his next record. This song is so open hearted, so full of the joys of new fatherhood and love and awe for the woman in his life. The marriage was actually not destined to last much longer. To have a song like this written about you, well, what a privilege. Turn over the record to side B, and the title track carries on the same theme. Tupelo Honey, of course. A love song, as sweet and mellifluous as the title suggests. There is another vocal tour de force by Van, who unsurprisingly is in wonderful voice throughout this record, as he is, to be honest, most of his records, even up to the current day. He performed the song live on stage with Bob Dylan during the 1990s, and Bob Dylan said that this song had always existed, and Van was merely the vessel and earthly vehicle for it. I do know what he means. It kind of has a timeless quality. Long after Van has left us, after we have all left, there will still be Tupelo Honey. The next song, I Want to Rue You, is a lovely lilting tune with a chorus that you just want to sing along to. And when that evening sun goes down, continues the more relaxed vibe. As Van sings about nibbling your little ear, a more playful, reassuring, less intense side of him coming out. Maybe that's kind of fatherhood. The album closes with a rambling epic, Moonshine Whiskey, which combines country guitar vibes, fiddles, a pedal steel, some lovely backing vocals, and Van's stream of consciousness lyrics about drinking Southern comfort, watching the fish blow bubbles, and generally having a ball of a time with his woman. Apparently, the song was inspired by Janis Joplin. It's a fitting end to a great album. So there we are, a wonderful album, Van Morrison's Tupelo Honey. Timeless songwriting, fantastic musicianship, and a superb remaster of the record on CD if you prefer it that way. It is a great remaster. This 1975 re-release on vinyl sounds excellent too. This record was really where my love affair with Van Morrison started, and I recommend it to anyone looking for a way into his extensive back catalogue. So, that's all from me, Julian, today. Until next time, keep carrying on.